What's up, guys? Hey, good morning. It is Pharaoh Friday, baby, which means we'll have some giveaways later, as long as we hit that goal on the poll in the chat. But first, we have a whole bunch of work to do. We have about 200 trades to take. The market's going to show up for us today. ATR is going to be 47, and we're going to come in and make 100,000 today. What do we say? Should we do it? Let's do it. Good morning, guys. We are 2 minutes out from the opening bell. Okay, so news today at this is all Central Time, by the way. Adjust for wherever you're at on the planet. 8:45 a.m. Central. Fed's Goolsby is speaking, and then at 9 o'clock is the big, really news event as far as the trading day is concerned. Today at 9 o'clock Central, which is in about 32 minutes. We get the University of Michigan sentiment prelim read. There's 2 of these reads a month. We get the prelim, and then a couple weeks later, we get the final. The prelim, the market knows, is typically relatively accurate. They don't have to do a lot of adjusting, at least most months, on the final. So the market looks to the prelim, all right? That's today. That's at 9 o'clock. So for me, I'm going to be flat at 9. Whether we take a trade before that or not remains to be seen. We'll keep an eye out on the market, and I will, of course, take a trade if it's there. Okay, but let's see, man. Let's see if we get something. All right. Good morning, guys. How we doing? Chuck, good morning. Scott, Stealth, good to see you guys. Gaines, good morning, brother. Giovanni Joe, how we doing? Javaz, good to see you. Good morning. All right, opening bell. 30 seconds. Jerry, Matthew, Vanny, how we doing, guys? All the OGs pouring in right off the bat, as is typical. Love to see it. Let's do our job today, huh? We're going to put on, at least me, I'm putting on good trades. Are you going to put on good trades? Hopefully. I'm going to put on good trades. We're going to see if they work for us here today, and then we'll accept that outcome and move on. Now, hopefully it's a green outcome, but I'll take whatever. I'm here to do my job. That's where I get my good mood from, is did I do my job or not? Not from was I red or green. And you'll say, well, how is that possible? Because when you do your job, it eventually pushes you into the green, whether you're on a winning streak, a losing streak, a back and forth streak. Gotta be able to zoom out a little bit. I get it. We live our life as traders zoomed in, looking at, hey, what have the last 15 5-minute bars done? What have the last 3 2-minute bars done, right? Zoom out a little bit. You got a whole lot of trading days ahead of you. There's no time, but at the same time, there's a lot of time, but there's no time. You got to start right now. Right now. But at the same time, the best way to do this quickly is the slow way. You got to zoom out a little bit and say, okay, put on a good trade, didn't work. Oh, man, I put on a second good trade, it didn't work. And then all of a sudden, you have 8 winners in a row. Then you lose 1. Then you have 3 winners in a row. Then you lose 4 in a row. I was like, shit. But zoom out, man. You're still green. You get too caught up in the nuance of the P&L, you're gonna hate your life, and that's not why we're doing this. All right, little bull push here off the rip. About 1:20 into the opening bell here. Let's see, let these institutional orders clear out and see what the market gives us here today. Maury, good morning. Hey, Alert, how you doing? Trev, good morning. Started my first evaluation last night, 3 for 3. Good work, Trev. All right, for those of you guys who are new here, we are currently looking at NQ. It is the December NQ contract. That's the Nasdaq futures. And this is a 5-minute chart. For those of you guys wondering, what you're seeing on screen right now is Ninja Trader. That's what I use to execute. What am I trading? I'm trading Apex and take profit trader accounts. Those are two separate prop firms. Those are my two favorites. Right now, at least. Of course, subject to change, but by far right now, those two are my favorites. And then I'm plugging in Apex with the Rhythmic gateway into NinjaTrader. And I'm plugging in Take Profit Trader with the Tradeovate gateway into NinjaTrader. And then I trade them, well, I trade the groups, a couple of groups at the same time by using a copy trader that's made by Affordable Indicators. It's a NinjaTrader plugin. It's like an add-on. You add on to NinjaTrader, you pay for it, add it on. That's the setup. All right here. Yeah, Pete, if you want to look at NQ on Thinkorswim, type in the ticker box, type in /NQ. If any of you guys are doing your charting on Thinkorswim, that's how you pull it up, /NQ. And then make it a 5-minute chart, you'll see exactly what I'm seeing. At least you should. Okay, minute 10 out from the close here of this 5-minute bar. One second, 10 seconds. All right, so now again, I like to give this the first at least 2 5-minute bars, let institutional orders clear out. They are doing rebalancing for the next 3 days, 3 weeks, 8 trading days, 6 months. You know, they're not necessarily concerned about today. So we got to let those go through, let them, let the banks and institutions do their rebalancing, and then we can do our thing here. Yeah, Josh, with prop trading, don't worry too much about commissions. It's cost of doing business. Cost of doing business. Just focus on improving your decision making. Now, someday, you know, if you're trading, I mean, I think props are, I don't necessarily think props are something you need to graduate from, by the way. Just depends on how you want to, I think doing both is the way to go. But, you know, for explanation's sake, someday you're only trading a personal account and you're trading big in a personal account. Well, you negotiate with your broker. You usually have a rep who you're in close contact with at your broker, and you negotiate with them as your volume increases to come to an agreement that works well for both of you. They're making a bunch of money off of you, and you're getting cheap commissions in return, right? So, but when trading prop, I mean, listen, the opportunity's here. Don't waste even an hour. Because who are you going to negotiate with? There's no one to negotiate with. They are what they are. The opportunity's here, dog. Take it. The commissions are not unreasonable at all. They're just fine. All right. So ATR currently on the 5-minute is 17. Remember that. Right now it is 17. We'll see how that increases here as we get deeper into the open. As we know, ATR, you know, is always a little bit artificially low for the first 10 bars on a 5-minute chart into the open because you're averaging the last 10 together. So it has to average a few pre-market bars in, which are lower volatility, right? So that ATR 17, highly likely is going to increase, bump up over 20 here shortly. And we'll see. Now, this is interesting because this here is technically the close that I allow myself to take my first trade if we get a reasonable setup. And if this ends up being a bull body closing near the high, I might just have to put out a stop limit buy. As long, I don't really want to see. Okay, so let's think about this. So I was actually explaining pretty deep in a voice memo in the tomb last night that I have a rule here, and I don't think I've gone over this on live, but I'm not big on taking signal bar trades where my plan is to risk the signal bar when the signal bar is more than twice the size of the current ATR. But there's nuance. We have to understand that the second bar of the day, the ATR is artificially low. So we look at the range of the two opening bars and look at those minus a bit to account for regular volatility collapse after the open. So if this bar continues to grow and we're looking at, well over 50 points here, it's too big, it's outsized, gotta hold off. Let's see how it closes up. We have a minute 18 to see. Let's see. All right. Well, we should look at this here. Bears trying to wick it back. That bar is damn near 60 points. I gotta go next bar. I have to go next bar. This is getting a little outsized, a little ridiculous. My only reasonable option here, as far as risk management, is to risk the signal body. And knowing that a push like this has about a coin flip chance of just reversing and fading. Because that's every day when you get a hard push off the open, it's about a coin flip whether or not it reverses or continues. And if it reverses, then it's a question of, well, does it enter a trading range or reverse entirely? Well, that's a totally different question. It reversed, right? Rather than continuing. Whether it enters a range eventually or continues, it's still reversed. So you're looking at a coin flip. So I'm going to hold off, give it one more bar, and you see here Bear's trying to pull it back, which is interesting. All right, those of you guys just joining us, remember, we have the big University of Michigan sentiment number of the month. There's two. Remember, there's the prelim, which is today, which is the big one, because it's the first time we see the data for that month. And then the final is in a couple of weeks. That's a little less important to the market. So the prelim here at 9 o'clock is the big number. When I say big, don't expect like 2022 CPI level volatility, but it's going to move things a little bit here at 9 o'clock. And then usually within a couple of minutes, the volatility of that is washed out and we're back to normal. All right, 215 out here. And that will put us at certainly open territory to take trades after the first 3 5-minute bars. Again, the first 2 is kind of my, like, if it's clean, take it kind of cut off. But 8:45, once we're there, it's like, we're into the day. It's time to go. But remember, we have 9 o'clock data here. So I would love to take a trade prior to that, but it's got to be on the chart. I don't force anything. You can force a bunch of trades and then be out of the business in 3 years and hate trading. I don't want that for you. That's a waste of time, isn't it? All right, minute 10 out here. Hey, Devout, good morning. How we doing? Roy? Good to see you. Hope the pup gets better. All right, new 5-minute bar here. Let's see. Can the Bulls take this baby a bit higher? Give us a nice clean close. We did just get a headline, kind of unrelated to NQ, well, at least a bit, but I thought it was interesting. It says, so, a group of leading international banks, now this is including Santander, Bank of America, Barclays, Citi, Deutsche, Goldman Sachs, TD, UBS, they're exploring issuing a stablecoin. Which, if anything, is kind of interesting. Man, the whole crypto thing is it's so interesting. Like, you look at Bitcoin. A lot of people are not going to like what I have to say about this. But I'm telling you, to me, this can totally go both ways. I think it's about a coin flip. Which way this goes. Now, a lot of people say, oh, it's going to zero. Nah, there's always going to be people willing to speculate, willing to hold. It wouldn't go to zero. But could it tank off to a ridiculous degree that no one's really ever seen? Yes, it could. I know if you're holding Bitcoin, you're like, fuck you, bro. This thing's going to 10 million a coin. So-and-so said so. It's like, yeah, I hope it does. That'd be incredible. That'd be amazing. Can you imagine how many people would be filthy rich even getting in late? I would love that. I'm just saying, it's got to be something other than... There's got to be a lot of use cases for it, because I'll tell you this, I'm not going to Starbucks, pulling through the drive-thru and paying in fucking Bitcoin. It is so inconvenient. It sucks. It's not better. It's actually worse. It's much worse. And inconvenient stuff sucks. In 2045, inconvenience is going to be even less accepted than it is today. I hate inconvenient things. I hate it. One of the big reasons to make money, in my eyes, is so that you can make your life a little more convenient. Right? Because inconvenient things just suck energy away from things that could help you produce. So it needs to get better. It needs to get much, much faster. It needs to be faster, more convenient, and more secure than the current banking system. And the banking system is slow. I have complaints, man. The banking system could deliver your funds in 15 seconds. They choose for these transactions to take 3 days so they can hold your money on the books a little longer. It's a complete fucking scam. It's all bullshit. But fine. They can do that. They have that opportunity. Hopefully, my thought is that Bitcoin presses banks to be faster and say, all right, we'll let go of that interest because we need to stay in the game. But Bitcoin sucks. It's so slow. It sucks to pay with. I'm not saying if you're like, it's digital gold. Fine. I'm talking about as an actual practical payment method. It is garbage. Horrible. I hate it. It's so inconvenient. No one likes it. The only reason people pay in Bitcoin for the most part is because they think they're like a pioneer, which is cool. Hey, if it takes off, fuck yeah, you were a pioneer. Right now, it's inconvenient, and I don't give a shit enough to be a pioneer to actually use it to pay for coffee in the morning. It's just inconvenient. It sucks. All right, new 5-minute bar here. Still waiting to see, can we get a half reasonable close, inside close on that last bar? Let's see. So you see this? Bears are pulling it back. 50% shot. You get a hard push off the open. 50% shot. It just pulls back. Let's see if it pulls back to the low here. Because you know there's some stops down there, man. I would love to go on a hunting expedition here. I am hungry for some stops. Let's see. Man, there's nothing better than hunting stops as a bear. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I would need to see a close within reason beneath that 20 EMA. Niles, good morning. Three minutes here. Pete, any recommendation on how many contracts to start with? Well, let's assume you're trading prop. If you're trading with a prop firm, let's say it's Apex, for example. And let's say you're starting with a 50K account. Here's what I think you should do. Apex evals are so cheap, it's a no-brainer. You buy an Apex eval with code BIG, or whatever code you want. And then it's so cheap, you go in, you trade 1 micro until you're relatively confident that you have some kind of edge, some kind of positive expected value. And then you try to pass the eval, you get in a funded account. Then I think it makes a lot of sense in a 50K Apex. What I do is I trade 3 to 5 micros. For me, that seems to be about right. It gets you, well, it tends to get me to payout territory in somewhere around like the 8 trading day necessity. You have to trade for 8 trading days to, get your payout. So there's no reason to trade 8 minis. Like, even if you got there today, you can't take a payout for another 7 trading days. And plus, you're going to have a 30% rule issue because you made too much money in one day. Now you're going to have to you're going to have to do the same thing 7 times again. So, and plus then you're still maxed on the payout for the first number of payouts. So like, I don't know. I think you're better off just trading 3 to 5 micros in a 50K. And rather than scaling vertically, do what I've said for 6 months. Scale horizontally. It makes all the sense in the world. 10 seconds coming right into that 20 EMA here on the 5-minute chart. So we're going to have to go next bar here and see what we get. New 5-minute bar here. Let's see. Can the bears dump this baby off through the 20 EMA? Give us a nice clean close. Well beneath that previous bar's wick low. If they can, I got a stop limit sell. And we can hunt those stops. Down at the opening bar wick low of day. Is 1 NQ for a 50K account too much risk? For me, I think it's high. Now, the nuance to that is if you're building a buffer and you're trying to take the 50Ks and, I don't know, get a really big payout. Like, you're like, I have 20 50Ks, I'm going for the payout record. You're going to have to trade bigger because you're going to have to build a big buffer. You're going to have to trade much bigger. But that's like a completely different goal. Okay? If your goal is, which I think should be the goal, is just taking payouts as often as possible, as consistently as possible, what I think you should do is don't trade all 20 evals at once, because now you have the same starting point on all your fundeds. If you blow them, you're back to 0, and that's really defeating psychologically. I think you guys have probably noticed this. My whole goal here is make as much money as possible, as consistently as we can, with as little stress as possible. I want all 3. It's like you can't have all 3. Yes, we can. We can have all 3. 100%. If you're all stressed out, there's a certain level in life, truthfully, and you're like, no, I don't care about that. Yes, you would. There's a certain level in life where a certain amount of persistent stress in your life is no longer worth the trade-off for any amount of money. I could say, I'm going to pay you $1 billion, but every day of your life, every weekday of your life until you die, which is probably going to be further out than we think with the way that everything's going here. You're probably going to live longer than you expect. Is going to be ridiculously, insanely stressful and unpleasant for 14 hours a day. I wouldn't take that trade. And if you would, I think that's silly. I think that's short-sighted. You're not going to enjoy your life, no matter how much money you have at that point. So we want to be as low stress as humanly possible. That's the point of trading, but not at the expense of ceiling. We don't want to say, okay, I'll make, $3,000 a month for low stress. No, you're going to be stressed because you're fucking broke. We want all 3. Fuck, what was the question? Is 1 NQ for a 50K too high of risk? Yeah, I think it's too high unless you're trying to build buffer. I like 3 to 5 micros. All right, minute 50 out. Let's see what we get here. Red bought my first Take Profit Trader test with code BIG yesterday. Love it. Yep, Take Profit Trader with code BIG right now, 40% off, and you will not pay an activation fee when you pass if you use the code when you signed up, which saves you like 130 bucks, which is awesome. All right, 90 seconds. Heads up, 90 seconds. We get the prelim read for the University of Michigan sentiment. So, sitting flat, ideally. Yeah, Philip, reach out to support. All right. Bear's gonna wick this back, at least try to. The big thing here is, yes. Yeah, Devout, I saw. Devout says range, 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 and that's exactly what I have in mind too. We gotta see if this ends up being, yeah, look at that. See that big bear pullback? Even if I had a stop limit buy ready up here, I would have not placed it because that big bear pullback at the end shows a lot of insecurity out of the bulls. Even though they're now trying to pop it, doesn't mean it's a good trade for me to take. So next bar here, we'll go 4 minutes and see what we get. And then obviously, you know, news at 9 o'clock. So, but I'm saying as an example, if there wasn't news at 9 o'clock, that bar still is an issue. Okay, so University of Michigan sentiment prelim here. The actual came in at 55. The forecast was 54. And previously we got 55.1. So again, forecast was 54 here. The actual was 55. So within about a minute or two, the volatility from this is kind of back to normal. We're good. We're back to doing what we do. That right there is pretty much the news of the day, at least the scheduled expected news of the day. So now that that's out of the way, which is the whole goal with these news events, just get them out of the way. We can do our job. So very good. Jeffrey, thoughts on trading all your accounts at the same time? Yeah, I mean, listen. There's two ways to look at this. You can trade 20 evals at once, pass them all, and then if you blow them all, you blow them all in the same day. The approach that I've kind of always taken is I like to start like 1 or 2 or 3 fundeds at a time. And then, you know, if it's like, oh, I should add some, then I'll spend an afternoon or like however long it takes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, trying to pass 1, 2, maybe 3, depending on how much time I have in the day. And then I activate those, and the next day you have some fresh. The goal here, by the way, is that now when you have 10, 15, 20 funded, they all have different starting points. And if you have a big red day, if you blow a couple, or maybe you have a glitch and you blow a couple, you don't blow all of them. The psychological hit is less and it keeps stress much lower. There's not like, fuck, now I have to go past 20 more funded. That's a big chunk of money. It's a lot of stress. It's kind of a lot of time. Okay, but that aside, trading all of them at once, is fine, I think, if you trust your copy trader. The affordable, and again, I have no affiliation at all with affordable indicators at this point. I feel like I should. But like, I trust my affordable indicators copy trader. I don't really have too many issues. The one time I might have issues with affordable indicators is if I add, let's say I'm in a trade and I've taken an ad or two on it, and then I try to flatten them all at once with my get out now key. I've done that like once or twice where it's flipped me the other way and like doubled my size. So just don't do that. Just take normal trades. And the only issue I think you're going to have with affordable indicators, at least in my experience, is ghost orders. So if you want to be more aggressive, trade them all at once. If you're like, I just want to keep stress low, and if I have a glitch or something crazy happens, or if I get in a trade and then Trump says something insane, or, you know, God forbid, we're like announcing we're going to war or something, and the market dumps 1,000 points and you get the craziest slippage you've ever seen, then, you know, you're not spending the next week trying to get back into your funded stress out of your mind. You can trade in 2 groups then. I think trading in like 4 or 5 groups is probably too much. That's a little overkill. You're not making progress quickly enough in all the accounts. 2 groups is cool. I think 2 groups makes a lot of sense. But if you have different starting points on all your accounts and you trust your copy trader and you trade relatively small, man, you can trade them all at once if you want. Big deal. Especially if you don't have them maxed out. You know, if you only have like 5, 10 funded accounts, you can trade them all at once. Again, if you trade small and you trust your copier. Yeah, Joe, this is another thought. Let's say you have 20 fundeds. You're like, all right, I'm going to trade them all at once, and I do trust my copier. What you can do, and I've done this plenty of times, you can take a more aggressive approach in a few of the accounts and go more conservative in a few. I have a few right now that, you know, I might be trading 5 micros in, let me look. Yeah, I might be trading 5 micros even in a higher volatility environment in 1 or 2 50Ks. And then in a whole bunch of 50Ks, I'm trading 3. And then I might be trading, you know, 1 or 2 in a couple of accounts just to like keep them longer, kind of slow burn. And then I'll look up one day and it'll be like, oh, I should take payouts on that account. I've been trading it for a while. I didn't even like realize. I think you should have your core group, you know, where you're kind of like finger on the pulse, taking payouts as often as you can. And then I think you should have a slow burn account or 2 or 3. And then I think you should have an aggressive account or 2 or 3 or 5. Mix it up, but trade relatively small. You don't need to be trading 3 minis. I'm telling you guys, it's too big. It's too big. Regardless of what you're seeing on like streamers stuff, I just think it's too big. Now, if you're like, I want to trade this super aggressively, I don't care if I blow accounts every other day. I want to go aggressive as hell. All right, then I hope you have an edge and you can trade 1 or 2 minis if you want. It just adds stress though. You're going to be pissed when you blow 4 in a row and it's not even really your fault. You have an edge, you're just trading too big. All right, big old inside close on that last 5-minute bar here. So 3 minutes out, let's see what we get. All right, ATR is up to 28. Remember off the open, 2 bars in, what did I say it was at? I said, remember what it is. Does anyone remember? It was 17. So now here we are at 28, well above 20, as expected here, but we are back and forth, bear bull, bear bull. And that is garbage. But the good news is we're really never more than 5 minutes away from a decent setup. Yeah, Devout, this is a really common question. It's Nico, by the way. For the single day, listen, Apex, I always say single day pass. For all you guys here right now, listen so you understand what this means. Whenever I say single day pass at Apex, it never means that you have to do it in one day. What it means is you can take as long as you want, but you can pass. Just for explanation purposes, technically at Apex, you can pass an eval in a millisecond, 1 second, 10 seconds, a minute. You can take one trade, and if all of a sudden news hits and it skyrockets and you hit take profit and you look down and it says, oh shit, I'm over 53,000 on this 50K eval. What just happened? You passed. Don't touch it. You'll get an email that night that says passed, Apex, whatever. Then you activate it and you're funded the next day. But you don't have to pass in one day. Single day pass means it's an opportunity, not a rule. All right, 3:15 out here. All right, Bulls, Bears, somebody break us out of this little sideways action and get some action going so we can break the ice here. Now, just, really quick, for those of you guys, I noticed we have quite a few people here today who, aren't really, they're not like seasoned prop traders, really, like many of you are. They kind of don't really know what it's about. They're interested. They haven't done it yet. For all you guys, though, I want you to think about it this way. When you first start trading prop, I get it. You take that first test, it's like, okay, this is my final exam. If I fail it, they're going to think I'm a bad trader. Oh, man. No. It's not like that, dude. You need to approach prop trading not like it's a test of your skill. You need to approach it like it's a business model for you. Okay? You look at it, you say, okay, I'm gonna, if now this is assuming that you have reason to believe you have positive expected value, okay? Okay, we're there, let's assume. Now it's a matter of, on average, averaged all together, how much money do I take out of a funded before it like blows eventually? Okay, whether it's on a whim or on a losing streak or a glitch or whatever. On average, how much is the average funded account worth to me in payouts? Okay, you have that number. Now, how much does it cost on average to get into a funded account? You find that by adding the activation fee with the eval cost on average, and then you multiply that by how many evals does it take you to get into a funded. Let's say on average you pass 50% of evals. Okay, cool. So you take eval cost plus activation fee times 2. That's the average cost of your funded account. And then you look at the two numbers. On a piece of paper, you say, is the number on the right bigger than the number on the left? And if it is, boom, you have a profitable business. Now you scale that shit horizontally. Right? That's what this is. Dog, there's no pressure. Like, if you fail an eval, you should not feel like shit about yourself unless you just did what, like, unless you're just taking idiotic, ridiculous trades. I don't know, like, unless you're like, I'm gonna hedge these evals on CPI. I don't know. I know people do that. I don't do that. I just trade the evals pretty similar to how you see me trade on here, but bigger and a little bit looser. Try to get them past. Get them past. All my energy right back on the fundeds. Offense. Play offense. Offense makes money. Defense keeps you small. Fuck defense. We're playing offense. 4.5 minutes out. Come on, baby. Give us a nice bear close down here, and I will put out a stop limit sell, and we will stop hunt that low of day. All right, baby, looking good. 345 out. Looking good. And the Bears do it to them, is the question here. All right, if the Bears could close this baby like right here, punching it short with a stop limit sell is what I will be doing, looking to hunt those lows. But we're only about halfway through this 5-minute bar, so I need the Bears to chill out and hold this baby right about here, which is a big ask. Let's see if they can do it. You guys know I like to make my decisions on bar rollovers, keeps my life easy, low stress. If you're making a decision on every tick, I'm not into it. I'm not into it. I like to make my decisions on bar rollovers with the exception of profit takes. Two minutes. Chill out, Bears. We know that there's some bull stops down here. Let's head over to the execution screen and get ready here. Let's see. Bull's trying to bounce this baby back up. All right, Bears. 55 seconds. Man, I think this is the song we needed for this. All right, ready? Let's do it. 20 seconds out, copy trader. Engaged. Let's see. Let's see. Can the Bears? Gotta see the Bears take that much, much lower. Give us a clean close down near the wick low. Last second adjustment. Bears, come on now. Do it to them. Give it to us. Oh, Garbo Bears. Absolute trash. Letting the Bulls walk all over them. No trade. Next bar, 4 minutes out. Okay, this is actually kind of interesting because you see this bear body, shrinking bull body, big old, sorry, shrinking bear body, big old wick. We can get a bull body closing up here. There's always two sides to a trade, right? There's this wedge, which is obviously more of a bearish look. But then there's what I would call this. So you could look at that wedge. Okay, and if you're only looking at this wedge, ignore the outer two lines right now. You're looking at the wedge, you're like, I should short that. Well, RAM is a price action based strategy, correct? And I trade RAM. It has treated me well, and I'm not going to cheat on it. This is the bigger trading range. Shrinking bear body, bulls took it back up, put in a big wick. If we can get a clean bull body closing up here, I would put out a stop limit buy even right ahead of that descending resistance. In the face of that, I would take it, risking only the signal bar, which is not that much, and look for a backfill push of the full range. Not the full range, but you guys know what I mean. A push up toward the full range. Let's see if we can get that. Because realistically, look at a price action setup. It's like range, range, range. Attempted breakout, fail. Clean bull body closing back up above the previous bar's wick high. That's a setup for me. That is a setup for me. So, we still got 2 minutes, 10 seconds here until we close. Let's see if the Bulls can even put that together for us. If not, everything I just said is off the table. 90 seconds out. Now again, since this would put us, you're looking at the range. You're thinking, well, there's a descending resistance and it's kind of the middle of the range. Yeah, I agree with you, which is why I need the close to be clean. Need that close to be clean. If it's not, nothing goes out. "60 seconds. "25 seconds out. Gonna get the copy trader engaged now. This look, again, we're looking at a big old range, potential for a wedge here. I am opting to look at the bigger range according to RAM, and I need this to be a very clean close. Otherwise, I'm not going to place this guy in the face of that potential descending resistance that forms a wedge. And let's see here. That wick's a little sizable, so I'm going to not place that, and we'll go next bar. See how easy the decision making is? That's how this should be. If every decision you make is like, I don't know, all right, I'll do this one. You're not gonna have fun doing this. And when you're not enjoying doing this because you're so insecure about every decision you make, you're probably not gonna make any money either. The goal is to make as much money as possible with as little stress as possible, without sacrificing one or the other in favor of the other, right? We want both maxed out. Low stress, income. Which means you gotta have rules and the discipline to follow them. You can't earn, a good amount of money with very little stress without discipline. It's impossible. All right, we're halfway through this 5-minute bar. Let's see how the bulls close this baby up. Devout, I still get the nerves every time I enter a trade. I think a lot of people do. There's no reason. I mean, listen, guys, if you're trading a system You have some kind of methodology in your mind, and you have pretty definitive rules, and you've put in some screen time, and you have pretty decent discretionary decision making, and you're trading not too big for the account you're in, whether personal or prop, then there's no reason at all to be nervous. The reason you're nervous when you enter a trade is because you're unsure. Now, we're always unsure, but when you have data, you end up, and I'm not saying if you don't have data, you're fucked. Well, I mean, kinda, but you have to know where you stand as far as expected value. Okay, do you make money the more trades you take? For the answer, most of you guys, the answer is no, because you're not really trading any definitive strategy or method. You don't have fundamental decisions that you make on this and don't on this. Your decision making is chaotic. It's not easy. It's not stress-free. It's too hard. You're way more stressed out making way less money than someone who's profitable. I'm sorry, you're way more stressed out and making less money than someone who's profitable. They're way less stressed than you and doing better than you. Doesn't that piss you the fuck off? That should piss you the fuck off. They're happier than you while they're sitting trading, and they're doing better than you. Are they better than you? What makes them better than you? Fuck that. You need a method. You need some kind of strategy. All right, new 5-minute bar here, 5 minutes out. Big ol' inside close, tiny little bare body. You could almost call it a doji, but not quite. Three minutes, 40 seconds out. All right, we're at 9:30. And what we should do is do a bar by bar little review here, see if we missed anything. I'm big on doing this, maybe an hour into the day. So let's look here. Bar by bar. Opening bar here, no. I don't take a trade on the opening bar, at least pretty much never. Bar number 2. Could have taken it, had my eye on it. Bar got too big. We're looking at like 60 points-ish on the bar. It got too big compared to what the ATR was. It just expanded. If this bar had been 35 points and closed here really clean, I'd have gotten long on it. Ended up too big. So nope, didn't miss anything. Inside close, nothing. Inside close, nothing. Coming into the 20 EMA, remember we were waiting for one more bar, then this bar ended up being a bull body. Nothing. Here, you get the first bar, big wick, nothing. Inside close, nothing. Inside close, nothing. Inside close, nothing. Big old wick back. Remember, we were looking at this one for a stop hunt. Had it closed down here, we would have gotten short. Wicked way back up, closed as a small bear body, nothing. This bar here, I had an order out, remember? Didn't place it because the wick was, I wanted this to be a really, really clean close. Didn't place it, so we didn't miss anything there. Inside close, nothing, and that brings us to here. So we've missed absolutely nothing, which means we've done our job, which means I'm happy. So we'll go next bar here and see what we get. inside close. What I mean is, see how this bar closed inside of the previous bar's wicks? Well, body even. Here on this example, this bar, the close of it was inside the previous bar. That's an inside close. There are a few nuances to it, but most of the time it's like, okay, if it closed inside of the previous bar's range, inside close. Okay, ATR here so far, we're at 24.7. Which is alright. You know, above 20 on the ATR is good. Above 30 is better. But, you know, I'll take 25. 25 is fine. We just got to see a couple of consecutive bodies and we're off to the races. Gotta be clean. But what we can do at this point is get rid of this. You guys know I cannot stand having things on my chart when we don't need them anymore. I think all it does is blur the most current look. Once it's like kind of outdated, it's time to pull it. All right, you bulls. Man, let's curl this baby, blow out those bears. Let's put in 2 beautiful consecutive bull bodies. Put us long and jump 120 points. What do you say? Let's do it. Minute 50 out. Bears, same thing out of you, baby. We'll take it. Let's do something here. I do not care which way it goes. Just give me something clean and I'll punch that thing. Hey, John, good morning. Good to see you. All right, we're 4.5 minutes out here from the close. We might have something here. We got to see how this closes up. If we can get a nice, clean, bare body, closing near the low, beneath the previous bar's wick low, I'd prefer if it stayed relatively modest in size, because then we risk the signal bar, and risk is no big deal, and we just put it on and see if we can get pushed down toward the low of at least that wick curl, but ideally low of day. There's always, of course, the risk of that little range bouncing us earlier, that wedge, I should say, but there's risk like that on every trade. So let's see here, 3 minutes, 40 seconds out. Let's see if the bears can give us a good close. All right, we are more than halfway through this 5-minute bar. 2 minutes, 18 seconds till the close here. Now, if we can get a nice clean close, that right there, I don't want to see much wick. Not too much wick, at least. But a nice clean close would put us, that'd be the first ram setup for me of the day. I'd put that guy on using a stop limit sell, risk the signal body, and look to see if we can get a push down toward the low of day stops, though it depends on how big the signal bar is, where I would look to take profit. So let's see, very easy decision making here. Very simple, it's the goal. All right. Bulls waking this baby back up, not letting the Bears do it. Guys, let's celebrate Pharaoh Friday properly. Hit like on the stream so we can hit our goal and I can give away free accounts. We can liven things up a little bit here. 4 minutes, 10 seconds out here. I think this market's gonna get things moving a little bit for us though as well. Now, if you're like, hey, draw something. Well, I mean, what's the obvious thing to draw? Don't overthink it. Right now, the obvious thing to draw is that wedge. Right? Let's see if the Bulls can break. Now, if they break out of the wedge, it's not like I'm fumbling to get long. No. There's always a range. I mean, look. Wick, fail, wick, fail, wick, fail. Wick, so far, fail. Let's see, though. Can the Bulls break this baby out? If they can. Like, right now, if the Bulls give us a close above this wick high here, like right here, stop limit buyout, I'm getting long. That's 325 out. Let's see if they can. And that's because that previous body attempted and failed, came up closed as a small bull body. Halfway through this 5-minute bar, can the Bulls do it to them? If they can, we might have something to do. Again, I want to see a close above this wick here, where my cursor is. Beautiful Bulls, beautiful. All right, let's pop over to the execution screen because we better get ready here just in case. Just in case we have something to do. 1 sec. All right, let's get ready to rock here. Need to see a bull close above that wick. Oh yeah, I want to see this guy set up here. "25 seconds out. Copy trader. Engaged." Let's see. Let's see. Gotta see the bulls close it above that little wick high. And if they can, so about 355 plus, then bulls, I have got a present for you. Can't do it. The bulls cannot do it, which means we go next bar, insecure bulls. I do not bet on insecure bulls. I bet on cocky, arrogant bulls and bears. And then I bet on them while simultaneously starting to see the cracks forming in the confidence of the other side, especially when they have stops. And they're acting confident, but we know what's going on. All right, next bar here. If the bulls can put something together, we still have something on the table here. Let's see. All right, you bulls. Come on now. Halfway through this 5-minute bar. Oh, you bears. You bears, if you're going to do that, I better see some more confidence out of you, because if they can close this up and give us another consecutive bear body that looks pretty damn similar beneath this wick low, all of a sudden, we're presented with an opportunity to look at that range and say, hey, that's a second consecutive bear body closing here. We could try to hunt some stops. So let's see here. Every bar is an opportunity to set something up, even if it's not exactly an entry. You gotta look at every bar that way, which is why, again, I think if you're trading like a 1 minute chart, it's a little hard to make good decisions all day because you should be watching every bar, and watching every bar on a 1 minute chart all day is kind of crazy. It gets hard. Doesn't matter how smart you are. Alright, big ol' inside close on that last body. Alright guys, hey, quick break. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Don't you go anywhere. I will know. Just kidding. Like the stream so we can give away some stuff a little bit later. I want to give away some Apex accounts. It's Pharaoh Friday, man. Let's do it. I want to give away a take profit trader test or 2, double or nothing maybe. Like the stream. Let's do it. Yeah, no, I appreciate you doing that. No, it was perfect. It tanked perfectly. No, I'm looking at it right. Yeah, it went like 150 points. All right. Yep, I'll call you if I need you. All right. Have a good weekend, Don. Bye. Oh, shit. Are we live? What the fuck? Why does this always happen? It's crazy as hell. All right. We have some volatility. We've got some volatility. We are ready to rock. Let's do this thing. This bar here, we can't take a trade on this bar. Good God. Well, that tanked more than what I said, huh? That's 300 points. Jesus, okay, what did we get? Trump, huh? China? Yeah, Trump's talking China. All right. Was anybody short? This is crazy. All right. ATR was now at 59. Jesus. These bars are really, really big. We're looking at 200-point bars, which means we gotta let this thing chill a little bit. Caught all of it. Tom, are you kidding me? Tom, you might have a 30% rule if that was on prop. You might have an issue here. They'll say, dog, you made too much money. Good problem to have. Oh my goodness. It was crazy. All right. 38 seconds here till the close up of this 5-minute bar. That makes this morning's range look like nothing, huh? All right, new 5-minute bar. Let's see here. Let's see. Couple of bars. Couple of calm down bars. We might have something here. Man, what a way to celebrate Pharaoh Friday. I was a little worried here, sitting here. I'm like, fuck, today's gonna be the most boring day ever. And here we go. The prophecy continues. So whenever the volatility is low, I just need to go get coffee. And then this happens, apparently. 3 minutes, 45 seconds out. Let's see what we get as far as close here on this 5-minute bar. Did anybody else catch that short? Did anybody blow a bunch of accounts? Tell us some stories, man. I know something just happened to a whole bunch of people. Yeah, that's crazy. What did it look like? I gotta go back on my stream here and see. When the news hit, did it just tank? I wasn't watching it that very second. Oh yeah. It went pretty quick. Oh my god, it just kept going. You know people bought that dip, thinking the dip wasn't gonna keep dipping. Gotta love it. Caught 125 points. Damn. All right. Well, these bars are very, very sizable. We cannot complain about volatility anymore. Okay? Hard rule for the rest of Pharaoh Friday. No complaining about low volatility or high volatility. You cannot complain about high volatility. Hard rule. But I'll be the first to break that rule. We need to see a little bit of control here. To minute 55. These bars are tremendous. A 100-point bar looks small right now. It's crazy as hell. Okay. We're 20 seconds out. Oh, Jesus. The points, I'm sorry. The bar is 120 points. I can't put that on. Are you kidding me? Even if I size down, I can't put that on. This is just nuts. It's a shrinking bare body if we look at this according to RAM, which we have to. At least I have to. One or two more bars. Gotta be patient with this kind of thing. Inside close anyways, so we can't feel bad about not putting something on. So we're 450 out. I need a couple of bars that are a little more reasonable. Honestly, I don't need them to get small again. I like the volatility, and I'm willing to, you know, maybe size down a little bit to accommodate that. That's what we should do, really, right? But, you know, I can't have them wiki as all hell. It's gotta be a setup. It's gotta be a setup. All right. 415 out. Ah, pumpkin, lost all 5. It's all right. Back on the horse. It's all right. Use a hard server side stop, right? Gotta have that out. Sorry to hear that. And now I'm done being sorry. 5 seconds and move on. What's done is done. What's done is done. Back in evals right now. All right, we're less than 3 minutes out here from the close of this bar. Okay, 2 minutes out. Jesus, ATR is 70. Oh, man. Now, I shouldn't have to say this. I really shouldn't, but I'm going to. If you're going to trade in here, before volatility calms down a little bit, you need to size down. Okay, size down. There is no justifiable way, I think, to say that the edge in an environment like this has improved so greatly that it justifies you to trade a 5 times more volatile environment with the same size. Has your edge 5x'd? If the answer is no, which is almost certainly the answer is no, it means you need to trade smaller to accommodate the higher volatility, okay? If you're trading this at all. Again, I'm not saying you should be scared to trade this. I'm not scared to trade this. If there's a setup, I'm putting it on. But with a little bit smaller size to accommodate this. Obviously, it doesn't deserve 5 times the risk. 45 seconds out. All right, well. If the bulls can take this baby higher, let me think about this. Yep. I mean, it's kind of a, you gotta, like, it's kind of a pain in the ass to go through and size everything. Resize all the accounts that I'm copy trading. But I'll do it. I'll do it if it looks like we're gonna get a bar close that I need to put something on here, which would be a bull body closing above the previous bar's wick high. Plus some to make the bar a little bit bigger. But you know, we also have to consider there is a pretty high risk that this becomes a thing. We might do this. Okay, now hopefully we don't. Hopefully we break that and put in a couple of consecutive bodies. And then boom, hit it. All right, Pharaoh's trying to test that low a day. Let's see if they can maybe pop it through. Bears taking low of day. Now let's see, do the bulls reject that and bring it right back up into the trading range? 90 seconds out here till the close of this body. It is the first bear body attempt after a bull body, which means we need more info. All right, so let's clean this up as we go. 60 seconds here till the close. New 5-minute bar, a little bit of a wick there on that last bear body, but closing, of course, outside of that, what could be a trading range. So this next bar could be a setup for us if the bulls don't try to take it back up into the trading range, which it looks like they might here, at least retest the bottom. Let's see. I don't want the wick top of this bar to get too big, because then the signal bar itself gets a little big, a little hard to manage risk on, especially in volatility environments like this. All we can do is take it bar by bar and see. Now listen, I'm not your dad. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but let's be honest. I used to do this. I used to buy shit like this. Oh, it can't go any further. Are you kidding me? Look at this. This thing's going to bounce and I'm going to make a ton of money. You could have said that here, 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 here. It can always go further than you think. Okay, especially when we're dealing in news. The only way in hell I'm getting long right now is if we get 2 to 3 consecutive clean bull bodies. That's it. Okay, for me, it's that simple. Easy decision making is the backbone of RAM. I do not want to sit here and be stressed out. The goal is to make as much as you can, and you want to have both. You want to make as much money as you can and have as little stress in your life as possible. Makes you happier, makes you a better person. And if you're buying this, I'm telling you, in the long term, you're going to be extraordinarily stressed out, and you're probably not going to do that well as far as performance. Right, well, I gotta, hang on, I gotta size all these accounts down here. Alright, we are officially sized way the hell down. I'm gonna hit, let me think. Yeah, I'm just gonna hit 1 micro on all the accounts across the board. But put me in the game, man. Let me participate. We got 50 seconds here. And if this closes nice and low, let me think. Oh yeah, I can make sense of that. I can make sense of that. If this closes nice and low, we've got a setup. So we'll make damn sure we got this set up. 1 micro across the board. All right, execution screen. Let's go. 25 seconds out, baby. We have got a high volatility environment sized way the hell down. 1 micro on all the accounts. Copy trader engaged. And let's see, can we get a nice clean close here out of the bears? I got to get a stop limit sell out. Move that baby. Get it ready. Plop it there. And give that guy 30 seconds, see if we can get a fill. That is a clean couple of bear bodies, consecutive bear bodies. And then if we do get a fill here in the first 30 seconds, I gotta be quick as a mother to move these. Get that guy out of the way. This volatility environment is hot. There we go. And see if we can get a nice big old push here. ATR 82.6, sized way down. I'm trading 19 micros. So per account, this is very, very small. And as always, if necessary, we'll take it bar by bar. Oh, shoot. Let me think about this. All right, we're all right. My leader account is 1 mini actually. The rest are micros. Okay, but the leader account is a big. It's a 300K, so we're good. We're good. I don't mind that. Let's see. Come on, Bears, take that baby down through. Bears, take this baby down through that low. Take us lower. Minute 20 left here on this 5-minute bar. And again, I have got one micro in every account except one account. I have one mini, and that one with the one mini is a bigger account with plenty of room. So we're good. We're fine. Risk is managed well, trading small across the board. And let's just see if we can get a little continuation here. Bears, take that baby down through ATR 88.7. There we go, Bears. There we are. That's it. Do it to them. Keep that pushing. Keep that baby moving. ATR 87 here. There we go. ATR about 89 and a quarter. Damn close, Bears. No cigar yet. Looking to get at least a full ATR here. That's what I need for this trade to make mathematical sense for me. So you might say, pull it, pull it, pull it. I sized down, man. 50 points is crazy on a normal trade, but this isn't a normal trade. I'm sized way down. And I need at least a full ATR for this to make sense. We didn't quite get it. We got within about 5 points. Yeah, at least a full ATR is my thought here. Let's see here. ATR about 90. 89 and a quarter. There you go, Bears. Take that, baby. Boom! Full ATR. Better than a full ATR. And we are out. Breaking the ice on a big old volatile day. Moving on. All right. 2 minutes, 25 seconds out here. A little push lower. See if we can grab anything else. A little doji here. All right, minute 45 out. Now let's see how this closes up. Thinking about taking in another one here, but we could. This bar is getting. Well, it's actually reasonable as far as size. Let's just see how it closes. I would need it to be clean. You also gotta understand, we have a doji here, and I took this bar, which was 2 consecutive bear bars. That last setup, if this one were to close, that last setup would actually be higher quality than this one, and we're deeper now into the move. So it makes it lower quality kind of in both ways, you know what I mean? So, again, all this is according to RAM. Best way to pull the big lever to learn RAM is to watch here for free every day, and then also join the tomb. And just move faster than everybody else. That's the way to do it. Well, let's see what we get, man. 52 seconds out. All right, what are we looking at as far as range? Yeah, bull's trying to wick it back. There's nothing there for me. There's nothing there for me. So next bar here. New 5-minute bar right now. Ah, thank you. 1 trade on the day. Gotta update the counter. Man, isn't it nice when you can make a good amount of money on trading 1 micro across the board? These high volatility but smooth environments, they're really a lot of fun, but you can't trade big. You gotta size down, seriously guys. It does not, if it's 5 times as volatile as normal or more, 10 times, you trading the same size is you saying that this setup deserves 5 to 10 times the risk of a normal setup. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. So you gotta size down. Especially if you're, well, I mean, I guess especially if you're trading prop or personal, but particularly with prop, you gotta size down when this kind of thing's going on. Doesn't mean you shouldn't trade if there's a good setup, but if you're going to, you gotta size down. All right, 2 minutes, 40 seconds out here. How we doing on likes? Can we give away accounts yet? No, not yet. Hit the like button. Let's do some giveaways here today. Joe says, Nico, I know it's not RAM, but ever think about doing 1 micro, buy the dips, dollar cost average it, play the snapback? So tempting. Yeah, Joe, I used to do that, and then guess what? I got beat the fuck up. No. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I remember how I felt with bad habits like that, and I don't want to feel that ever again. It's even if you win 1 trade, to me, I mean, listen, I could play it just perfectly today. I dollar cost average in, I make 20 grand. Not worth it. Not worth it. 20,000 is not worth that feeling when I inevitably get run over, like I used to all the time, being a contrarian in a trend. RAM keeps my life low stress, profitable, happy, makes you a better person, because you're not a fucking pissed off motherfucker all the time. 90 seconds out. right, 25 seconds out. Let's see how this body closes up, man. All right, big old doji close on that last bar. So we're getting a few more dojis mixed in here, which, what does that tell us? It tells us at this exact moment, the bulls are kind of trying to step in, trying to make this the curl point. Now, doesn't mean get long, okay? Maybe it works. A lot of times what happens is the bulls eventually run out of steam and the bears just take over again, take this thing lower and lower and lower. This is a bear trend, a news-driven bear trend. The only way in hell I'm buying this is 2 to 3 consecutive bull bodies, a textbook ram setup back the other way. Then I would get long. There is no other reason for me to get long right now in an aggressive, news-driven bear trend. For me, do whatever you want. I'm not your dad, but for me, not a chance in hell. Nope. I know how it made me feel fighting trends like this, and I know that I did not make money trying to do it. Incredibly stressed, I hated what I was doing, and I lost money. Nope. So I trade RAM, which keeps me low stress, happy, profitable, doing well, easy decision making, chilling the fuck out, having a good weekend, and making money. That's the goal. We don't want to just be chill at the expense of making money, but we don't want to be trying to make money and saying, I'll just be super stressed out trying to make a lot of money, and then you lose a lot of money. Now you're super stressed, unhappy, you're losing, you're pissed, you're a piece of shit to your family because you're in a bad mood all the time. Who wants that? That's not why we became traders. That's not the point. That's a horrible existence. All right, 2 minutes, 12 seconds out. Now again, even a bull body here, closing above this previous bar's wick low. You guys remember that little voiceover setup video I did that I think helped a lot of people? That doesn't, for me, that doesn't apply here because again, news-driven bear trend. Even if it ends up working, I don't care. I don't feel FOMO. I've never really had too much of an issue with FOMO. It wasn't really a problem for me because from the get-go, I understood, or at least from very early on, I understood, like, FOMO. By 8:31 a.m., everyone could have bought such and such call option that expires today, right before the close last night, and been worth a ridiculous X factor of their worth in less than 24 hours. What is there to be fearful of missing out of? You already missed out of everything. Just take the good opportunities. So it doesn't apply to your news-driven, hard bear trend. That more applies to little pullbacks and little dips throughout the day. Normal bear sell-offs coming back up with a nice strong bull close above this little doji wick high. This is not that. I would need 2 to 3 to get long. Man, what a sell-off. What a sell-off. Since the open of that first bar. $670 points. Wow. Dumped 670 points. Jesus, look at a daily chart. That's crazy. We love it! Volatility, baby. Gotta love it. This day turned out to be more interesting than we thought, huh? But it's not over. 3 minutes, 55 seconds out. Let's see. Let's see what this next bar brings. And by the way, we got to keep an eye on that 20 because we have not tested the 20 here since the start of the sell-off. That could become an issue, along with 25K. Well, S tier level. We hung out right around there for a little bit during the sell-off and took it through. Yeah, spicy. 20K, well, 25K. And the 20 EMA for that matter. You're looking at about that 50% retracement point. Now, I don't know if I've talked about this in a week or two. So a lot of you know, guys who are newer here, people who are newer here, the 50% retracement is not this magic thing, but it's something to think about because it's logical, which everything within RAM has to be logical. Otherwise, I'm not about it. It has to make logical sense. The 50% retracement, if you think about it, what does that kind of mean? Well, a whole bunch of bulls, half the market, that were sitting long up here, probably averaged down this entire way. And they're sweating and they're pacing around their office right now, nervous as can be. At 50%, about halfway, the average of all those bulls is going to be break even. Because they average down throughout the move. Not each individual bull, but the average of all of them is going to have a break-even point around 50%. And a lot of traders who did this, they're already making bad decisions. What's one more bad decision to say, oh my God, it's Friday, I will take break-even. And that creates selling pressure at the 50% because they're getting out. Right ahead of the 20 EMA, right around the big S tier level of 25,000. That's something to think about. And it does. It tends to play out, not necessarily as a rejection, but at least as a hesitation area, as that selling pressure of people getting out break even, you know, comes into play. So, something to think about there. Nah, SK, I know a lot of people might, but I don't trade that way. I trade RAM. Pick a methodology, stick with it. Otherwise, your decision making, it gets too chaotic. It's not enjoyable, and it's harder to make money. All right, 3 minutes here. Hey, Tony! 968 approved payout from Apex. On the account you won last month. Beautiful! Micros only. Oh, good work, Tony. Now, if you want to win an account, like the stream. Let's get to that goal and let's give some accounts away here today. All right, 4.5 minutes out here from the close here of this 5-minute bar. Volatility coming in a little bit. You can see on these bars here, this is the range of each individual bar starting to fall. All right, guys. Hey, quick break. Back in a couple of minutes. Like the stream. Let's do some giveaways. All right, welcome back. Looks like we didn't miss anything at all. We are 3 minutes, 10 seconds out here. All right, you bears. What do you say? Maybe we'll take out some more stops near the low? We may just end up in a trading range here. Two minutes, 40 seconds out here from the close of this 5-minute bar. Looking half decent so far. You got to keep in mind there's a pretty heavy risk of a range here, because you see the range on each individual bar starting to fall, of course, you know, as expected, compared to that more news-driven push. You get this push, a lot of times you'll end up doing this for a little bit. Let's watch how this closes up. Yeah, Bull's trying to wick that thing back. Stop hunt is 100 points away. Volatility falling, averaging maybe 70, 80 points. Big wick on that last bar. Now, there could be something there if this wasn't an inside close. It is going to be an inside close, so there's nothing there. Had this guy closed like down here, all of a sudden I'm putting that on short, looking to take out some stops. Didn't give it to us. Inside close anyway. That's all right. Yeah, you know, Roy, there's a thought. What if this turns into a soft bull channel? I mean, for me right now, I'm thinking more just regular sideways-ish trading range. Yeah, to me right now, that's what this more looks like. But again, when I say, you know, something looks like this, I don't care if it breaks. I'm just looking for something definitive according to RAM to put on. If something looks like a sideways trading range turns into a soft bull channel, great. Great, let the market do whatever it's going to do. I'll take it bar by bar, put it on when it's solid. All right, minute 40 out here from the close of this 5-minute bar. Joe. I need someone in the chat to volunteer to answer whenever somebody asks, hey, what does RAM stand for? Somebody help our friends out here. All right, well, let's do a chat check-in. I want to see what's up with you guys. It is Pharaoh Friday, so again, it's no one else's business but yours. You have no obligation to share. But if you care to, how'd you do today? How'd you do this week? Which is kind of two separate answers, right? I mean, what's more important is this week, but today is more interesting. This whole week has been, for me, lower volume trading. Pretty good result in the end. But the trade count this week is way down. Which, is not inherently a bad thing. I did my job this week. I put on the RAM setups as they came. It's just lower trade volume than is typical. Cleared. Killed it this week. Rose, 400 today, 1,800 on the week. Good job, Venny. Good week. Hey, Steel, keep your head up. It's all right. It's all right. Don't blow a weekend being upset about it. Believe me, it's not worth it. It's not worth blowing a weekend being upset about a Friday trading mess up. It's all right. Back at it Monday. Tubed out. 24,560 this week. Beautiful. Very good work. 40.3 for the week. Very good job. People don't think these numbers are possible. Man, these numbers are the beginning. You gotta think bigger, big dog. There's people doing it out there that you will never hear from. We're doing bigger numbers than you've even imagined. You're like, that's not possible. They're like, dude, that's a down month. Yep, Brandon. Listen, guys, it's human nature to be a contrarian. When you come into the market and the market dumps, I used to do the same thing. And I hated it. I wasn't having fun, and I was losing money. And you look at that and you're like, I'm smarter than everybody else. And you just buy the dip. Because all you ever hear in investing lingo is buy the dip. But in trading, when you go counter trend, you're using more, I'll use the term like leverage, because futures are, a leveraged trading instrument. Very well designed for trading, may I add. A tremendous instrument to use for active trading. But investing, it's a different ball game entirely. If you're just buying with cash and you're not using margin, if you like the price today and it keeps dipping, it doesn't matter, because you liked the price that day and the point is to buy and wait. That trading is an entirely different ballgame. What's funny is, as you get more experience trading, I think you learn that when the market is trending, and this is why context is so important, which, by the way, is the topic of our very first members-only live training that's coming up in the Tomb here on Tuesday. Context is pillar number one for a reason. When the market is trending, not ranging, trending, you come to realize eventually that trying to be the smart guy is not the move. Wait for a good setup, a couple of consecutive bear bodies closing near their low, same size if not growing. And then according to Ram, I get short with a stop limit sell. Okay, risk what makes sense, in this case, the signal body. I mean, you look at this. The setup in this move was this. It was the close of this bar into the open of this bar. Guess what I shorted today? Guess what my one trade of the day was? Shorting the close of this into the open of this. Took profit on this bar. That makes logical sense to me. That doesn't make sense to you, then you shouldn't trade RAM. It's not going to work if it doesn't make sense in your brain. That makes sense in my brain. That's a logical thing to do. When I was getting started, I would have bought that. Yeah, I'm smarter. It's going to bounce. Well, what if it doesn't bounce before you're out? You can only take on so much heat, man. If you're not using a stop loss, especially, which you always should have a live stop order out, a server-side stop, just to protect yourself. Even if you're managing risk bar, by the way. In trends, you know, being the smart guy doesn't make you money. You got to be the patient guy doing kind of the dumb thing in a trend. But you're not doing the dumb thing. You're doing the thing that looks kind of dumb to everybody else because they're like, well, I'm going to buy. Yeah, well, everyone else is losing. Right? So I'm shorting the low of day in a big bear trend, 2 consecutive bear bodies. I'm getting short at the low of day. I am short the lowest price of the day initially when I get filled because I'm putting out a stop limit sell a tick or two beneath the close of this, well, beneath the wick low of this bar. I get a fill, tried to push back a little bit, eventually continued to profit. That looks really dumb to the untrained eye because they're like, I'm buying that. Okay, well, clearly the probability is well above 60%, if not 70%, that the market's going to continue lower before it bounces. In that situation, because you had such a strong couple of bear bodies. In a range, things change a little bit, but in a trend, everyone says don't fight the trend. It's kind of a simple way to put it. The way that I put it is put your ego aside, be the most patient motherfucker in the room, and then when it's time to do the thing, do the thing. It's gonna look really dumb to everybody else, but everybody else is fucking losing, okay? This to me looks like a range now though, let's see here. Awesome to hear that, Max. Very good work. How do you deal with boredom when trading? Well, that's a personal issue. Couple of things here, a couple of thoughts. You have to want to provide for yourself and your family more than you want to be entertained. That's number one. But number two, listen, if you sit in a room in dead silence, listening to nothing but the ringing in your ears with the door closed for 4 hours, staring at the exact same spot on the screen, you're going to make mistakes. You should enjoy yourself a little while you're sitting at your battle station, whatever that means to you. Doesn't mean get super into a Netflix documentary and miss trades. But I don't know. Write something up on the side. Do some reading. Listen to a light podcast on science or physics or space or something that interests you that isn't like just garbage drama that distracts you from what you're actually doing. Enjoy yourself, but if it causes you to miss trades, that's unacceptable. But point number one still stands as the primary fix. steal? Gotta love to hear it. Mike, how did you stop reacting to those big moves? And you don't start clicking buy, sell randomly. I mean, listen, guys, here's just the reality, straight up. If I could somehow copy and paste my early experiences and pain and trading into your brain, I fucking would. And man, it'd be worth a lot. If you haven't gone through it, because here's the truth. People are like, how do you not just do stuff when it's not there? It's called pain. Pain. Motherfucker, I did that stuff. And I got hurt so fucking badly, I never, over and over and over and over. I went through the predator-infested forest with no weapon, not a thought or a care in the world, and got fucking mauled. Came out the other side crawling, half alive, covered in my own blood. Barely conscious. And said, I don't want to do that ever again. That sucked. The pain of sitting there doing nothing is nothing at all compared to the pain that I faced trying to figure this out. That's how I don't do dumb shit. There's no self-control. Well, I mean, there is self-control, but you know what I mean. Like, this isn't like just, wow, discipline, self-control. No, I don't want to feel that again. So the discipline is super easy. It doesn't take anything for me to be disciplined. It's so simple. All right, 60 seconds out here till the close of this bar. All right, guys, hey, I'll tell you what. If you like the way I trade, you want to learn how to trade RAM, keep your decision-making easy, low stress, and hopefully do pretty damn well, maybe you should pick up trading RAM. You can, of course, watch the stream here for free every day. If you want to pull that big lever and move quicker than everybody else, I suggest you do that, and you should also join the Tomb. Our first members-only live training is happening early next week, and we're going to go deep, privately, on a live stream about context and how to understand that. That's going to be the first topic, because that is absolutely number one in understanding that. Without context, nothing else works. Okay, join the Tomb. I just dropped the link in the chat. And I'll tell you what, guys, Monday, we're back. We're back. Bright and early, doing the same exact thing. All right, guys, I really hope you have a good weekend. A successful Pharaoh Friday here. Made a phone call. Market started moving, baby. All right, guys, Monday morning. See you right back here. Subscribe to the channel, and we will have another shot on Monday to hit our giveaway goal and give away some free accounts. Have some fun. Love it. New opportunity for free stuff every single day around here. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Rest up. Do your job. Your job is not to shake and need to be trading. Your job is to rest up. Be ready for Monday, and I'll see you here bright and early. All right, guys, have a good weekend.